August 14th, 2025. The city of Barranquilla, Colombia, sleeps under a wet, electric sky. Rain pounds against tin roofs, but in one corner of the industrial zone, a single warehouse glows faint blue from within. It looks abandoned, rusted doors, broken signage, no guards in sight. Yet inside, behind stacks of fake automotive parts, 5 underground reactors roar quietly, pushing out more than 2 tons of methamphetamine every week. To the untrained eye, it's a mechanic's garage. To U.S. Naval Intelligence and the FBI's South American Task Force, it's the heartbeat of a $5 billion narcotics empire. Hidden pipes vent chemical waste into the sewers. Stolen electricity powers an operation so advanced it registers as a minor factory on Colombia's grid. Every wire, every shadow has been mapped for months. The tip-off came from a Venezuelan defector. His message was short: "You're watching the wrong ports." From that moment, analysts began linking dots. A surge in precursor imports from Asia, unregistered chemical drums moving across the Magdalena River, and ghost trucks making routine deliveries to repair depots that never fixed a single car. At first, the numbers seemed unreal. One shipment alone carried enough crystal meth to poison a city. Street value, $180 million. Multiply that by 50 shipments a year, and the total surpassed $5 billion. What shocked investigators most wasn't the money, it was the precision. These weren't backstreet cooks. They were chemists, engineers, and financiers working under cartel bosses who operated like CEOs. By midnight, reconnaissance drones circled high above Barranquilla's coast. The radar showed faint heat blooms underground, 5 in total, each reactor pulsing at a constant rhythm. The FBI's encrypted comms went silent. One phrase appeared on the screen: "Target confirmed. Prepare for entry." But as the agents watched, something strange happened. 2 unmarked trucks pulled up outside the garage, headlights off. Men unloaded sealed steel containers, each marked industrial lubricant, the same label used on shipments that vanished weeks before from Panama's free trade zone. Suddenly, this wasn't just a lab. It was a node in a supply chain stretching across 3 continents. And the deeper they dug, the more one question kept repeating through command channels: who's really funding this operation? Before we reveal what the agents found when they finally breached that door, hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next, because what they uncover inside changes everything. 1:42 a.m., August 15th, 2025. Barranquilla's portside fog had settled thick over the warehouses, swallowing light and sound. Across the water, the faint hum of a Navy P-8A Poseidon patrol plane vibrated in the sky. On the ground, Task Force Echo, a joint FBI, DEA, and Colombian National Police unit, crouched in silence behind stacked freight containers. Every man's radio crackled once, then went still. Through night vision, the target appeared as a blur of green and black. The garage, 3 stories tall, heat signatures inside flickering like fireflies. 5 confirmed operators, maybe more. The command came in low and sharp. "On breach. Go, go, go." The first shaped charge hit the side door. The blast didn't echo, it folded inward. Within seconds, agents swarmed through the smoke, shouting orders in English and Spanish. The air was thick with ammonia and gasoline. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead, revealing the impossible. Reactors taller than men, humming with blue-white fire, bubbling with chemical vapor. Gunfire broke out before anyone could take cover. 2 cartel guards wearing respirators unleashed bursts from AK-103s. Bullets punched through drums of solvent, turning the air into a flammable mist. A single spark from a hot barrel ignited it. The room erupted. Agents dove for cover as flames swept across the ceiling. The heat hit 600 degrees within seconds. One officer yelled that the main reactor's coolant line had burst, pressure climbing fast. But through the chaos, the formation held. The first unit secured the stairwell, the second pressed toward the basement hatch. There, in a locked chamber beneath the floor, they found the vault. It wasn't gold, it was poison. Over 6,000 pounds of pure crystal meth, stacked in transparent blocks labeled autofilters, the same logo seen on imports across the Caribbean. Each brick shimmered under flashlight beams like ice. Street value? $500 million, enough to supply 30 million doses across the United States. Then came another discovery. 5 men chained to the wall, their hands burned and blistered. Forced laborers, kidnapped from villages along the Magdalena River. One whispered, "They make us work until we bleed." As medics moved in, command relayed the code. Site secured. Silent Harbor is live, but what none of them knew, the real fight hadn't even started yet. Offshore, 2 ships were already waiting. 2:37 a.m., August 15, 2025. Smoke still bled from the warehouse as sirens wailed across Barranquilla's coast. But even while firefighters drowned the flames, new intelligence was lighting up the command screens. A recovered phone, half melted from the blast, was transmitting its final location signal. Coordinates placed it 35 nautical miles east of the Venezuelan border, right where 2 cargo ships had been loitering for hours without transponders. Within minutes, the U.S. Navy joined the hunt. The destroyer USS Monterey pivoted from a Caribbean patrol, flanked by a Seahawk helicopter and 2 RHIB interceptor teams. Overhead, a Poseidon P-8A mapped heat signatures through the fog, a rust-streaked freighter named San Pedro, and 2 speedboats running alongside it. The pattern was familiar: escort craft used by Tren de Aragua, South America's fastest expanding cartel militia. The radio chatter turned surgical. Primary vessel confirmed. Estimate 12 hostiles on deck. Barrels visible topside, possible chemical cargo. At 3:02 a.m., the order came. Intercept in motion. The first contact was chaos. Tracers cut through the night as the Seahawk banked low, its spotlight slicing across black water. The San Pedro opened fire first, heavy machine gun bursts that lit up the waves like fireworks. One Navy pilot later said the sea looked like it was on fire. The return volley was instant. A .50 caliber gun roared from the Seahawk's door, shredding the gun mount and forcing the freighter to slow. The 2 cartel boats veered away, but not far enough. RHIB teams accelerated to 40 knots, closing the distance in seconds. Hooks slammed against the hull, and the first boarding team climbed over the railing straight into gunfire. Inside the cargo bay, agents found steel drums filled with crystal meth dissolved in solvent, another 4,000 pounds ready for delivery. Each drum bore the same coded mark, Project Libra, the export wing of the syndicate uncovered at the Barranquilla plant. By 3:48 a.m., the fight was over. The San Pedro burned silently on the horizon, its hull cracked open like a dying whale. 17 cartel members were captured, and more than $300 million worth of narcotics were pulled from the sea. But what stunned investigators wasn't the haul. It was the ship's encrypted server room. Behind a false bulkhead, hard drives stored terabytes of financial data, offshore ledgers, payment trails, and names. One of them belonged to a shipping executive in Hong Kong, another to a fuel trader in Curaçao. The meth wasn't local, it was global, and the FBI was about to uncover the blueprint for a $5 billion empire hiding behind trade routes and corporate fronts. August 16, 2025. The Caribbean was quiet again, but in Miami, the evidence room at the FBI's field office was alive with noise. Rows of hard drives, waterlogged from the sea, blinked like dying stars beneath forensic scanners. Every recovered byte told a story: wire transfers, encrypted ledgers, offshore accounts. And the deeper agents went, the more impossible the numbers became. The meth seized at Barranquilla and the San Pedro freighter wasn't isolated. It was part of a synchronized global operation. One file revealed a name: Project Libra, 4 labs across Colombia and Venezuela. Each one capable of producing $400 million worth of meth every month. Together, they form the backbone of a $5 billion narcotics empire, hidden in plain sight behind logistics companies and chemical suppliers. FBI analysts traced payments from South America through shell companies in Panama and the Cayman Islands, then into shadow accounts in Hong Kong, Dubai, and Zurich. Every wire was disguised as freight insurance, lubricant sales, or marine exports. Even the cargo manifests were forged to mirror legitimate trade. But one anomaly stood out. Every transaction funneled through the same offshore trustee, Aurelius Maritime Holdings, a company registered to a single apartment address in Curaçao. That discovery shifted everything. The cartel wasn't simply smuggling drugs, it had built a financial machine, a self-sustaining economy with chemists, accountants, and crypto analysts working together to turn addiction into profit. And while the US Navy had destroyed 2 nodes, 3 others were still running, their locations buried deep within the encrypted data. One recording dated July 2025 showed a man in a white lab coat walking past reactor tanks saying in Spanish, "If one shuts down, 2 more will start. The process never stops." By dawn, that phrase echoed through the Bureau's command floor. The process never stops. It wasn't a warning, it was a business model. But for the agents who had watched friends bleed in that factory, it meant something else, a challenge. Because for every cartel pipeline that vanished, another surfaced across the sea. The operation had revealed more than $1 billion in meth. It had also revealed a terrifying truth: the enemy had evolved. August 20th, 2025. Inside the city's naval command post, the evidence room glowed with monitors showing stacks of seized meth bricks, each one cataloged, photographed, and weighed. In Miami, technicians kept decoding the San Pedro drives. What they found reshaped the entire investigation. A global pipeline that linked cartel chemists to middlemen in Eastern Europe, freight brokers in Dubai, and investors laundering profits through real estate projects in Asia. The cartel had evolved from street crime into corporate warfare. But for the men and women who had entered that burning factory, the memories weren't digital. They remembered the smell, ammonia, rust, blood. They remembered the workers chained beside the reactors, their eyes hollow from exhaustion. 5 survivors were airlifted for treatment. One of them, a 23-year-old named Mateo, later testified that he had been paid less than $20 a week to mix chemicals so toxic that his fingernails melted away. His words turned the statistics into outrage. By the end of the week, Operation Silent Harbor had become an international symbol, proof that cartels no longer hide in jungles. They hide in spreadsheets. Their accountants wear suits, not bandanas. Their labs are cleaner than hospitals, and their profits rival oil exports. The Colombian president called it chemical warfare disguised as commerce. The United States called it a new front. At sea, divers marked the resting place of the San Pedro. From above, its shadow looked like a scar beneath the waves, the last trace of an empire that believed the ocean would protect it. But the ocean remembers. It remembers every deal made in darkness, every moment when good men refused to look away. If you believe truth should travel faster than corruption, then subscribe and share this investigation. Because awareness keeps the waters clear and stops the tide from turning black again.